Howard arrived in Russia from London as part of a student exchange program. He came to our country with excitement, primarily because of the opportunity to learn more about an amazing country that has been receiving so much attention in British media lately. However, he had to admit that he harbored some concerns about life in Russia. The reason for this was the widespread propaganda on British TV, depicting horrors and dangers that could await foreigners in our nation. Still, Howard hoped nothing like that would happen to him, though he acknowledged that fear was definitely present. In reality, life in Russia turned out to be completely different from how it is portrayed in Western media. What surprised Howard the most, however, were everyday details and the daily lives of Russians. The first thing that caught his attention in the daily routines of ordinary Russians was their standard mixer tap, a feature so common for Russians but unusual for him. The thing is, Britons typically use separate taps, where hot and cold water flow from different spouts. Moreover, to save water, the British are not accustomed to washing under running water, preferring to fill the sink instead. Naturally, this approach doesn't require a mixer. For Russians, however, this British method seems far from hygienic. Nevertheless, despite living in Russia for a while, Howard couldn't break his habit of filling the sink with water. What impressed Howard the most regarding everyday conveniences were centralized heating, public transportation, and mobile communication. And this is in the 21st century. It feels like I've stepped into the future. You need to understand that back home, houses get really cold in winter. Here, central heating keeps everything warm, and there's no need to sleep in your clothes despite the harsh Russian winters. If I tried to heat my house like this in London, I'd go broke paying the bills. In Russia, this is just normal, and people can't imagine it any other way. The only downside is that I can't adjust the temperature myself, which sometimes gets uncomfortably hot. Public transportation, especially the convenient metro system with its spacious and comfortable stations, completely won Howard over. He admitted he's now afraid of experiencing claustrophobia when he returns home and has to use the London Underground again, with its narrow passageways and small platforms that get so crowded during rush hour that queues form even in the tunnels. As for affordable and high-quality mobile communication and internet, Howard is convinced that Russia is decades ahead of Europe in this regard. Mobile communication here feels like it's from the future, and most importantly, it's incomparably cheaper than in any European country, plus internet access is everywhere. I never thought something like this was possible. I'm blown away. Overall, although Howard missed his family and friends back in London, he thoroughly enjoyed life in Russia and didn't regret gaining this invaluable experience. He hoped that in the future, Russians and Britons could visit each other cheaply and without visas. So after finishing his studies in Russia, he'd have the chance to return to the country during vacations and visit the new friends he made here.